Maybe just turn it down a little bit.
I'm on a Zoom call.
It's time to talk some hoops. It's Basketball Jones, giving you behind-the-scenes, in-depth looks each week at a special guest from the basketball world. We know you're ready for basketball to be back, but no one's jonesing for it like your host, Mark Jones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basketball Jones edition number 3. As today we chop it up with five-time NBA All-Star Damian Lillard joining us from his home in Portland. I'm coming to you from my home here in Miami, Florida. Before we get started, a quick shout-out to all of the frontline servants out there, our doctors, our emergency room workers, our ICU workers, our firemen, our policemen, everybody looking for a cure and a vaccine in this COVID-19 world that we're living in. And also a shout out to the youth sports operators right now who have taken a little bit of a hit during this stay-at-home order and stay-at-place order. Remember that those are the guys that are getting games together and making the next great generation of great athletes. So hang in there. We're glad that things are starting to move finally in the right direction. Damian, thanks for joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me, bro.
Hey, tell us during this, lockdown that we've all been in, and now things starting to move into phase 1 or phase 2, whatever part of the country you're living in, depending on it. What have you been doing to keep busy? What's a typical day like for you?
I get up in the morning and I go train. That's obviously I'm gonna do that first, especially like maybe the first 2.5, 3 weeks of this. I was just like, maybe the season is over. I didn't really know, so I kind of just backed off and I didn't really do much. And then I was like, I started to get a little bit paranoid. Like, man, I don't want them to call us back and I'll be, out of shape and having moved around and stiff and my body aching and stuff as soon as we come back. So I started training. I started getting on the program, and I got a full in-home gym. So I started doing a lot of movement, a lot of lifting, a lot of core, steam room, just full body stuff, just getting my body moving and being active as I possibly could. And then they recently opened up our facility. So I started, going in there every day, getting on the court for like 45 minutes to an hour, going pretty hard and moving pretty well. So, I mean, that's what my days have been. My days, as far as training, they usually end around noon, 1 o'clock. I've done everything I need to do. Sometimes I'll go back at night and just do some light stuff, some light cardio stuff. But for the most part, I'm just at home all day with my family.
That's great, man. I mean, so it sounds like you're doing work at the Portland Trailblazers facility and then doing home stuff at your home gym as well?
Yeah. I mean, I try to, I'm trying not to be out more than I need to be out. So when I'm doing my strength and conditioning program, I do it in my in-home gym because I have a full gym. So I'll do that, and then I'll leave home and then go work out on the court at the facility. And then when I leave the facility, I'll come back home and then, pretty much have my whole day. And sometimes I'll go back and do a few things in my gym.
Well, I know that you and your trainer Phil, man, you guys really get at it when it's time to really get at it. So that's been your signature throughout your NBA career, which is really something that the young guys in this league can admire and a great roadmap for them to follow. But, man, before the season ended, you were on, and I remember a particular stretch, Dame, in the middle of January through the end of the month. There was a 6-game stretch where I really think in a national sense, you became, and I said it on air many times during the games that I did, that you became an MVP candidate. You started, I think, with a 61-point game on January the 20th, then followed that up with a 47, then a 50-piece, then a 36, then a 48, and a 51-point game. During that stretch, I mean, you made 57% of your three-pointers. Was there a moment during that 6-game run where you thought, hey, it's happening now? And what sparked all that?
I mean, it was sparked because we were just, we weren't winning a lot of games, and we had injury after injury. Just our team just couldn't get it rolling, and obviously I was trying to stay positive about it and do things the right way. And I just felt like it was the time had come for me to, try to really put my foot on the gas and try to force some things to happen, force some momentum in our direction. And against Golden State, I had a huge game. But a lot of people looked at it like, Golden State has a lot of guys out. This shouldn't be a tough game for them. But I think that was the night that our team, kind of decided, we don't care if we're supposed to win this game or what people think. We're going to just do whatever is necessary to get the job done. And that's what my mentality was as well. So that was a big night. And then the next night, everybody was like, keep going. The coaches, my teammates was like, don't ease up. So right. After about 3 or 4 of those big games, usually that's when I get to the point where I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm making this about me. So I'll take a step back on purpose to show that I'm willing to give up, whatever shine or whatever attention is being put on me. I'm usually like that type to, take a step back to show that, I'm not getting full of this. And it didn't happen this time because all my teammates was like, keep going. Score 50 again. Our coaches saying the same thing, keep going. Stay aggressive, come out from the jump. Like everybody was encouraging me to kind of just keep that pace up. And not only did I take that as a challenge, but they made me comfortable continuing to be that aggressive and to attack like that. And also we were getting the results that we wanted. We were beating good teams. Right. So that kind of just went into, its own thing.
I can remember during that stretch in one of the post-game news conferences, Coach Stotts was like, man, don't ask me about Dame because this guy is playing out of his mind right now. You made over 57% of your three-pointers during that 6-game stretch. It garnered a lot of attention around the league. And after that, I started saying that you were an MVP candidate. That I think really put you in the top 5, regardless of Portland's record. Do you remember hearing from any of your colleagues around the league during that time when you went on that role?
Yeah, I mean, a few guys that reached out to me like, man, you crazy. Like they just like, you crazy. You like, they were just giving me love and respect for what I was doing, which I would do the same if somebody else had been doing it, And I think that's pretty common in the league when somebody has a stretch that's just crazy like that. People, are not hesitant to give that credit, especially when the rest of the world is doing it. So I definitely got a few of those messages, from a few guys.
Right. And, one thing that I really notice when it comes to the success of the Blazers is you're the head of the snake right now. And you and Terry Stotts really seem to be on the same page with regards to the direction of that team. How has your relationship with him grown over the years?
I think it's grown a lot, but it was always in a very, very stable place. And when I first came into the league, he was coming from Dallas. They had won a championship maybe 2 years prior. And he was getting another opportunity to become a head coach, which he had, years back in his career. So, he's coming into a situation. He's drafting a rookie. They're drafting a rookie point guard. They want me to play. And, he doesn't know what type of personality he's about to get, So from jump, Terry gave me a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity, a lot of leash, to just find myself and make mistakes and, do things maybe that I shouldn't be doing as a rookie. He allowed that process to happen pretty fast, and a lot of guys don't get that opportunity. So I automatically respected him just because he was my coach, but I really respected that he just allowed me that type of freedom when you got an all-star power forward, and you got a really savvy and crafty veteran shooting guard in Wes Matthews, and Nick Batum, who's also a ball handler and coming into his own in his career and like a really good player. So, considering those things, for him to give me the type of responsibility and freedom that he did, that meant a lot, and that said a lot to me. So I think we always have been good. And then once the roster was turned over, and me and him kind of had to come together even more because we were, I had experienced winning with older players, and now we're younger. We're playing guys who didn't play in the past. We're bringing in a new team, all these things. So we had to kind of put our heads together and become even more of a team as far as, communication, understanding of, how we're going to move forward, the kind of environment we wanted to create, how we wanted things to go. And I think because of his personality mixed with my personality every day, not just on the floor, but my everyday personality with his, it was seamless. It was pretty simple. And he's low maintenance. I'm low maintenance. I want to win. He wants to win. He's not looking for all the attention. I'm not looking for all the attention. I want to win the championship, and so does he. He wants to be respected as a head coach and for, the kind of teams that he's led, and I want to be respected as one of the best at my position and for what I do. And it's
right.
We care about the team. We care about what happens with our team and how things go. So that's that.
And that doesn't happen without the amount of work that you put in. And you're one of the more tireless workers that I've seen around the league. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier. You not only do your own workout with the team, but there's a lot of individual skill work that you do on your own. And your game has grown to reflect that, especially in the deep three ball era that we're playing right now in the NBA. What was the genesis of the development of that shot? It was a conscious decision that you and your skills trainer made to develop that part of your game because it's really paid off.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been able to shoot pretty deep. Like even since I was a kid, I could shoot pretty deep. But I would say it was in college,
right,
where I got to maybe my sophomore year and I was MVP of the conference. I got invited to Adidas Nations, and I was, in Weber State, yeah. And I was going to play in front of scouts and stuff like that. And it became a reality when I was a sophomore, like, oh, you could actually make the NBA. You could be drafted. So from then on, we started to kind of like throw in a deep shooting drill, from not from the college line. We're going to go from the NBA line. And then we're going to step further than that. And then the next year, I get hurt. I come back off injury, and we started doing it even more. So by the time I came back off injury, I wasn't shooting. Like if you look at film of my last year in college, I wasn't shooting from the college line. I was shooting from the NBA line. Just, that's where a lot of my threes came from. And then when I got drafted, we started to do even more of it. So over the years, my first year I was rookie of the year. The second year I played well, but it was like we were constantly looking for ways to just grow a little bit, to where you just not staying the same, just incremental, strides. Just, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. It's a small thing, but it'll make you better at this, this, and this. So that was our approach to a lot of things, but especially that. And then eventually it got to the point where all my workouts, we started working out from what we was calling the 4-point line.
Wow.
Where I wasn't just catching and shooting from deep. I was doing it off the bounce. I was shooting it without jumping. I was doing it from like a squat position with no momentum and just raising up. I mean, just a lot of small things to make that an easier shot for me. So when it came to like the game time, it was realistic for me to play from that range. If somebody goes under a screen out there, if I raise up and shoot it, it's not like I'm taking a bad shot. To me, it's like I'm taking a shot from the 3-point line. So we just really worked on every little detail from that distance. And now in the game, it's like the floor is bigger for me. and it's paying off.
Yeah, you certainly have two of the more iconic shots in Portland Trailblazer history. The one against the Houston Rockets several years ago, and then obviously last year the wave goodbye shot against the Oklahoma City Thunder. One thing that I want to talk about too, Dame, with you is that, and this might be really one of the more impressive things I think league-wide is your ability to lead. And I speak with other guys around the league who talk about and exhibit leadership. But your certain type of leadership seems to be very impactful and positive. In a recent survey of NBA general managers, you were voted the best leader amongst teammates, edging out Steph Curry and LeBron James by the percentages shown on the screen there. What is it about your leadership style that you think makes your teammates very receptive to listening and following and allowing you to lead? Sometimes leading from out front, sometimes leading from behind.
I think being a leader doesn't always mean that you're in the lead. I think for me, that's the biggest thing for me is because you're the leader doesn't mean everybody does what you say, or it doesn't mean you're always the voice or what you say goes. I think, a big reason why my teammates respect me as a leader is not because I play, I make the most money, or because, I'm the star of the team or anything like that. I think it's because I put myself with the team. If somebody else speaks up in the huddle and calls me out, I accept it. I'm not going to look at it like you can't say something to me. I'm the leader. If something needs to be said, I say it. When it comes to how hard we practice or how hard we train, I make sure that I train hard and I make sure that I'm on time every day. So I think it's a lot of, just things like that.
Yeah.
I don't point the finger. I take responsibility for when things don't go wrong. I take a lot of pride in making the lives of my teammates easier, whether that's from criticism, like the New Orleans series. I'm gonna say, I'm the leader of the team and I'm the main guy on the team. I didn't play well enough. We came up short. I got to do better to put my teammates in position to succeed and to be better at their job. I'd rather deal with that pressure or that criticism or whatever on my shoulders, so it's easier for them, and not just in that situation, just in many ways. I would prefer it be that way because I really care about my teammates, and people know when it's genuine and when it's BS for show or for the cameras or for whatever. And my teammates know because of behind closed doors, and they know because of how constant and how steady I've been in everything that I do, as far as our team goes.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of any of your teammates that haven't been over to your place for some food or during a Thanksgiving meal, or you've taken guys out to dinner, have them over to your place, buying rookies suits or clothes. Give me a roadmap for what it's like when you get a new player that comes to the Portland Trailblazers, and what's the steps? What are the steps that you go through to say, hey, this is how we do it here, and this is what we expect of you, and this is how I'm going to help you? Like Nurk came to the team as a recent player, kind of a couple of years ago. What were some of the first steps you took with him and kind of bringing him into the fold?
We just had a normal conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I try not to go up to people if we get a new player and be like, look, I'm the leader. This is the way we do things. It's not like that. It's more of I kind of like to let people know I know about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told Nurk, I heard about what they were saying about you in Denver. You know what I mean? And I know you got some stuff with you. Not even like a bad thing, but I know that you got a little bit of stuff with you, like all of us do.
Right.
But I said, we ain't judging you here. You know what I mean? I feel like you, just from playing against you and from watching you, you got a lot of ability. You can really help our team get to the next level. And we're going to give you the opportunity to do that. And, you know, I kind of just let them know I see you helping us, and I know this about you. And it's just a normal conversation. So you can just break that ice and get to know each other. And he knows that I believe in him off the bat. You know, I believe in you. I think you can help us. And I want to see good things happen for you. I want you to get a good contract. I want you to be around. I want you to be comfortable.
Right.
And I make it clear without doing it in I guess, commercial way. You know, I just do it naturally. Like, I don't go up to him right away. I let it happen. And when it does happen, I think it just clicks, you know. And it could be other ways too. Like when we first got Evan Turner, I had never met ET before. And now he's one of my best friends. But he came, we was talking, he asked me some questions. I was like, yeah, you know. And he just learned that I wasn't front and center all the time looking for, you know, everything got to go through Dame. You know, he's seen it. I would just fall back and lay back, do my thing, speak to everybody, whatever. And then we worked out together one day, and I told him, you know, we don't wear earrings in our workouts.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, it's a small thing, you know, it ain't go kill us that you're wearing earrings, but you know, we just don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, cool. He took his earrings out, he put them on the scores table during that drill.
Wow.
And then, you know, maybe 6 months, a year later, we going to dinner all the time together. We at each other's house all the time together. And he mentioned it to me like, bruh, like, you really crazy, but I really respect you because you like, you stand on like on what it is, and you don't step aside from that, bro. Like, you literally told me before we knew each other like that, we don't wear earrings here. And he was like, do you know how uncomfortable that is to be that person? And I was just like, to be a leader, sometimes you got to do what's not popular, or you got to do something that's not comfortable, because I don't want people thinking that I'm just bossing everybody around, but it's like, this is what our culture is. This is what our standard is. So do I want to be more concerned with people, what they think, as opposed to what I know is real in my heart? Or do I hold up our culture and take pride in that? So now when the next person do it, I'm not going to have to be the one to say it because Evan Turner will. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
So I feel like that's how you build culture, and that's how you, in my opinion, and you know, what I feel like has worked for me, and is how you should lead. You know what I'm saying? By being with the team, and allowing other people to hold you accountable the same as you hold them accountable.
It's funny, Dane, because in watching The Last Dance, everybody was talking about Michael Jordan and how he was, you know, he beat up on his teammates. It worked.
Yeah.
They won 6 championships in 8 years, but he was pretty hard on some of his teammates. And I look at the way he led. I look at the way you lead. There's different ways to lead. All ways are effective, but you don't necessarily have to be like Mike in terms of leadership all the time. Because that doesn't work for everyone, right?
No, I think for one, that was a different time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at that time, everybody didn't have a voice, and people knew that. And it's also like, I'm playing with Michael Jordan. I'm not Michael Jordan. So they're going to deal with things from Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you win in 6 championships. They're going to be like, all right, we winning. I might not like this or I might not like that, but we winning championships. And for me, my outlook on things are like, sometimes you can come down hard on people and they might check out on you. And they'll check out on you at the wrong time. It's possible for them to check out on you at the wrong time. So that's not my personal style. You know what I'm saying? Even though it might work. It might work for other people. That's not my personal style. I'm more of a like, how do I put it? I'm more of a, instead of coming down and, you know, beating up, I'm looking down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my favorite parts of playing sports is being a part of a team.
Sure.
And forming bonds and building friendships and stuff like that. And then we achieve like high levels of success together, and we appreciate each other for the journey, and we appreciate the time we spent with each other, because we spend more time together than we do with our families. So I'm looking at that, and when I look back at my career, I want the championships. I want to win. I want to, you know, feel what it's like to be at the top. and I also want to, have those same bonds and
Sure.
those friendships and stuff that you've built. I feel like it'll mean more when you accomplish it in a together way where everybody's kind of on the same page and everybody's able to connect and still get there, because it's possible. Not that one way is right and one way is wrong. I just think it's possible to do both, and one is more probably my style.
Sure, sure. Hey, man, one thing we like to do here on the Basketball Jones is get beyond the 94 by 50 feet of the basketball court, man. And
Yeah.
I saw you All-Star Weekend, man, and I really loved the way you performed. Dame Dollar on the stage. That was really captivating.
Yeah.
See you live. I mean, I've seen some of your videos and listened to your music. Moneyball, one of your recent ones. But let's go right back to the start of your music. And DOLLA, Dame Dollar, different on levels the Lord allowed. That's the acronym. How did you arrive at that acronym?
Well, when I was in college, I would always be trying to get my roommates, like, listen to this rap I just wrote. You know what I'm saying? I'd be trying to run my rhymes by him. Calling my brother when he was in college, I was a freshman. I'm calling him in his last year, like, listen what I just wrote. I'm freestyling the beats on YouTube and stuff. And all my roommates just started calling me Dame Dollar. They started calling me Dollar. And I was like, when I got to the league and I started really getting like deeper into my music and people was like taking notice, I was like, what kind of rap name am I gonna come up with? And Dollar was just so natural, because like all my roommates started to call me that just without Dame. They just called me Dollar. Like to this day they call me that. So it's like I was like, how can I make this more than just Dame Dollar, like dollar sign, and it also connect with who I feel like I am. And in a lot of ways I do feel like I'm not the typical athlete as a person, and like the way I think and how I feel about stuff, and just the way that I carry, my career and my life. I feel like, there's a difference with me. I honestly feel like that. So I was like, how can I come up with something that's catchy, something creative,
Love it.
but it's still dollar? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
And
love it.
I feel like I'm different. I came up with different on levels the Lord allowed, because it's just, I don't know, the way that I think, to be able to have the kind of NBA career that I've had, and then to go into music, and then to be able to do everything that I do for my family, and like carry that burden. And a lot of guys do that, but then to still be able to be as compassionate as I was before I was anybody, and to still be connected to all of the people who are part of the foundation of my athletic career and who I have become as a person. Like, to be able to stay connected to all that stuff and still be in touch with all those different sides of myself, and then also attain what I have. I feel like it's not typical.
Yeah,
And
to keep that kind of
I
ground.
considered all those things. When thinking of a good word for each letter in dollar, and I came up with that, and it was perfect.
Love it. I went back and listened to Wasatch Front when the legendary Jerry Sloan passed away. I saw you post on Twitter, and I went back. I'm going to ask you if you can give me a couple of bars here, man. If you still remember, "Far away from home, feeling so alone, you take the rest." You remember that bar?
I said, yeah, that was my first album. That's actually one of my favorite songs that I wrote, because I wrote it during the summer while I was training in Utah.
Right.
And it's called Wasatch Front because that's like that area that I went to school in, like from Salt Lake City, that run down to Ogden almost. And I said, far away from home, feeling so alone, a boy amongst men. I said, a boy amongst men, it's far away from home,
I ain't
feeling
even
so alone. A boy amongst men, I ain't even wear cologne. A boy amongst men, I ain't even wear cologne. Girls call me MCM. Girls call me MCM, and I'm trying to be Jerome. The Jazz up the road, I want to play for Jerry Sloan.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'm feeling so alone. A
That was
boy
it,
amongst
man. That
men,
was
I
the hook.
ain't even
That was a
woke
great hook.
alone.
That was a great
Girls
hook.
call me MCM. I'm trying to be Jerome, your boy amongst men. The Jazz up the road, I want to play for Jerry Sloan. Like, and I actually wrote that hook too. So it's like,
Yeah,
because when I got to school, Jerry Sloan was coaching the Jazz, and I
right.
just remember like I play pickup at the base. I go on base and play pickup. I would go to the Jazz practice facility, and I play with like dudes that went to school in Utah and like was living there and was playing overseas. Sometimes it was pros like Ronnie Price or Jimmer Fredette. Like they had come back and play pickup.
Right.
Paul Millsap's brothers would be there all the time. And I remember like I would take so much pride in going to those runs and like hooping because I always felt like somebody from the Jazz was gonna be there. And I was like at this small school, and I was like, man, somebody need to be in here watching so the Jazz could draft me or just sign me or something. So like when I was writing that song, I was thinking about all those times where I used to be like, man, honestly, I go play for the Jazz right now. Like,
Sure. Right
yeah,
down the
so
road, man. That was really deep. And I think about the rap game right now. For you to be able to seamlessly go between, an all-star, all NBA player and be as respected in the rap game as you are is really a special talent. Who are three guys that you'd love to do a collab with? Who are three artists? Throw out three names for me who you'd like to
I mean,
ultimately.
I've done music with a lot of really like Lil
Yeah,
Wayne is, all three of my albums, so that's obviously a
right.
number one. I've done stuff with Two Chainz, Jamie Foxx, Juvenile was one of my favorites, Benny the Butcher, Jeremiah, Mozzie, Marsha Ambrosius was on my album. Who else did I get on there? One, two, three.
You've had a few, but what
I've
was
had a lot of them, but
yeah?
right now, if I could get three that I haven't got, I would do Drake for sure. I got to get one with Drake. I've been working on that for a while, but that ain't, as you know, that ain't the easy one.
Right,
But
right.
I gotta get Drake. Um, J. Cole is
What
my
about Meek?
boy. J.
Have you done
Cole
anything
is
with
my
Meek?
boy. I haven't done that with Meek, but I was trying to do something with Meek. I just got to get a hold of him. I ran into him a while back, but you know what I'm saying? That should be able to happen. But J. Cole, I got to do one with J. Cole because that's my boy. I got to do one with Drake, and if I had only one more, I would say
I live down here in Miami, man. Any Rick Ross on the table?
no, I rock with Rick Ross. But if I had to pick three, I'm gonna go with J. Cole, Drake, and either
Okay.
Kendrick or Meek. Kendrick or Meek.
Okay. That's a good lineup, man. That's a
Yeah.
really good lineup. Like that.
I would even do Meg Thee Stallion because I like her stuff. She got bars.
Okay. All right. Hey, man, and let's tie it all back in, and I think about some good Bay Area rappers, and you're a guy that reps Oakland really well, man. With the number you wear, Oakland. The O is for Ogden. It's for Oregon. It says everything about you. Your mom, Gina. Your dad, Houston. Which one of those? How much of the competitiveness that you play with comes from each of the two of your parents?
I think from both.
Okay.
Like my mom is a emotional competitor. Like if she's involved in any type of competition, it's gonna be intense.
Okay.
Because she ain't gonna go away quite, like she just not gonna deal with it well. And when I was younger, I had a lot of that. So like I think that's where like the care part, like how much it means to me, I think I get it from my mom. It's
Okay.
like if I'm invested in something or if I've taken the time to like work at something and I'm really trying to accomplish it, like I'm very emotionally invested in the work. way that my mom is. Like, I really care. So from a competitive standpoint, I get that from my mom with how much I care about it and how much it means to me. But my dad is more of like and I've grown into this more as I've gotten older. Like I would say after high school, towards college, and like being in the NBA for sure. Where my dad is like just an assassin, just like my dad is no emotion and no flashiness and no showing off. But in the meantime, everything that needs to be done for you to come out on top and to get your job done is being done, whether everybody knows it or nobody knows it. And I feel like I've gotten a lot of that from my dad. Like, I don't really need, it's not really that important to me for everybody to know, or you know what I'm saying? And it took me a while to get to that, because at first I was like more like my mom. Like, no, they need to give me my credit for this, but it's weird that as I've gotten older, my dad has just rubbed off on me more and more, to where I'm just like, if I hit a big shot, that's game.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a straight face, like, yeah, game.
I remember you telling me one time that you said your father isn't the type of guy that hands out a lot of compliments. So when he says something nice,
exactly, he's not. He'll be like, my dad. I'll tell you exactly what my dad would say if I did something like big. He'd be like, right on.
That's it.
He'd be like, right on. Shake my hand, and he won't take nothing away from you. But it's like, I've kind of adopted that from him, to where like I expect things out of myself. I don't, I don't fear no competition, or fear losing, or coming up short, or fear being talked about. You know what I mean? Like I get that type of competitiveness from my dad, where it's like, all right, I'll go back to the drawing board. All right, I'm humble enough to accept failure and whatever, but I'm not gonna stop coming back.
Sure. Gotcha.
I bought a little bit of both of those things from both of my parents.
Some more Oakland flavor. Think about Oakland. I think about guys like yourself, Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, Brian Shaw, Antonio Davis, Hook Mitchell, Bill Russell.
Mitchell.
Yeah. When you look at players,
they got my boy Hook.
When you look at players across the spectrum that have come out of the Bay Area and made their impact on the basketball landscape, which of those guys have you had a relationship with, and a significant maybe moment with, that really made an impact on you moving forward in your career?
Well, I know J Kidd. Me and J Kidd text. And he was still in the league when I got in the league. I played against J Kidd. He played for the Knicks.
Wow.
My first time playing in the Garden was against J Kidd. I played J Kidd, and from that point on, me and J Kidd kind of was like, he knew, like, okay, this is a new kid from Oakland. I had met GP. I met GP my very last college game. GP was at my last college game, sitting courtside with my agent.
Oh,
and
wow.
I hadn't picked the agent. Like, I didn't know, but I knew I was going to be entering the draft after that year. And I hadn't picked the agent, but my agent and GP was sitting courtside, and GP was just talking shit the whole time. Like, yeah, what you gonna do? Real Oakland and something. And then, I remember, like, wow, like GP really sitting over here being GP. So after the game, he walked up and we chopping it up, like, because GP knew my dad, like, from way back. So we just was chopping it up, and I was doing like the media stuff after the game. He was asking me about the draft, and he was like answering questions. So I'm like, man, yeah, he gone. And something. He was just saying stuff, and I was like,
that's Gary.
Dude, I was like, man, he crazy. So me and GP was cool from that point on. But I think I really, really hit it off with B Shaw. Like, to this day, that's like,
yeah,
B Shaw is like my dude for real. And GP and J Kidd is too. But me and B Shaw, we've been in a mix together, like, heavily, like, even a few, like, when I first got in the league, I would be in Oakland, in the summer, just in Oakland in the gym, just training with one of my trainers, Chris Farr. I worked out with him for the draft and everything. And I knew C. Farr since I was a kid. And we would go to the gym, 8 in the morning. And B. Shaw would come to the gym. And, like, I was working out with both of them. And he, like, showing me this, like, in the league, do this. And he was just showing me so many different things. And he was actually on the court with me and doing all this stuff. And advice, like always on the phone with B. Shaw, always texting with B. Shaw, and all these things. So it was like me and him. To this day, me and B. Shaw is tight. Like inviting me to his house in Oakland, like everything. He been A1 from jump.
Yeah, there's so many great generations of players that have come out of the Bay Area. You mentioned Brian. I got to know Brian when he played down here for the Miami Heat for a number of years. Still one of the more popular players in the organization history. Let's move on to Portland, Dame, before we wrap it up. And if we like to talk about some of the finer things, and give me your 3 top restaurants. If I roll into Portland on a Thursday or Friday night and I'm looking for a nice spot to eat, I've been to El Gaucho's, but tell me.
Be one of them.
Okay, give me your top 3 or 5 places where I can get a nice meal and go home and knock out.
I would say El Gaucho is definitely one of them.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about sushi, but I would say
all the
bamboo
time.
Sushi.
All the time.
El Gaucho, bamboo sushi, and it's another restaurant called Ox. I would definitely try those 3.
Ox. Okay. Is it either of those any soul food spots? Get some oxtail or some greens or?
El Gaucho is not soul food. Bamboo's not, but you can definitely get that at Ox.
Okay. Great stuff.
All 3 of them on point. You would not be disappointed.
Hey, let's go real quick on the shot clock here. I want a couple of quick answers from you. Favorite food?
My favorite food is fried catfish.
Favorite drink?
My favorite drink, probably strawberry lemonade.
Favorite dessert?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Ooh, okay. Favorite fast food, if you do that?
My favorite fast food, I do on occasion. Favorite fast food, let me say Five Guys.
Five Guys. Good. Double bacon cheese.
Five Guys, burgers and fries, man.
You went through a little vegan phase at one point, didn't you?
I was vegan for about 8 months, like 2-3 years ago. I was too skinny.
Too skinny?
You vegan?
No. Oh, I was
about to say.
like that.
When I
did
that, I was just trying to I was trying to see if it could possibly work for me. And I actually did feel really healthy and feel really good. I lost a lot of weight though. I was like 185 pounds, which I haven't been in a long time. I was 190 as a rookie, but I was 185. Yeah, so I was 185. I was running fast. I was moving well, but I started that season slower than usual because I wasn't recovering fast enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I eventually had to get up off of that diet, but I could definitely see myself doing it when I'm done playing for sure.
Right. Great. Hey Dame, before we wrap it up, just any thoughts moving forward on the season? I know that there was a little bit of news today, and you care to explain just what the overall feel is of yourself and your team moving forward? You're the voice and the face of the Blazers, depending on what scenario, because it looks like we're going to get some basketball to finish the season. But
no, I mean, obviously we're professional basketball players, so we want to play, and a lot of us have been training, preparing for that because we started the season, so of course we want to finish it. But like right before we had this break, right before COVID-19 hit, we were in the middle of a playoff race, a pretty tight playoff race, not just with us, but, the 10th, 11th, and 12th place teams in the Western Conference are, within striking distance. And you're looking at 15, 16 games remaining, and you got an opportunity to close in. So now with these things happening, you just would hope that when we do come back and play, that you have an opportunity to still be in pursuit of that instead of just coming back and playing just to play. That's not what anybody wants. And again, we want to play, man, but we want to play for something, just like everybody else that's gonna play for something. And that's it. Other than that, I'm still training and preparing to play, but we just want to play for something.
Right. I know you've always been 10 toes down in your own words, man. So
yeah, always. I say what I mean what I say, and I stand on it. It's that's how it should be.
Hey, Dame, thanks a lot for joining us today on the Basketball Jones. And man, I'm glad that you're enjoying a little extra time with the family, man, with Dame Jr. How's he doing? Is he good?
He doing good, man. He's taking a nap right now, but it's time we won't ever have again, man. Just to take a break from life and be with our family, on the daily. So it's been, as much as I'm sure all of us would love to been hooping, it's been a blessing and to spend as much time at home, and you kind of appreciate the stillness, you know what I mean, and just being able to kick back and get this time in, because we don't typically get this time. So it's been pretty cool.
Good stuff, man. Well, hey, if we do come down to Orlando, I can give you a scouting report on all the rides for Dame Jr., man. I got 3 kids. They've all been through the mill.
Man, if we in Orlando, we not going to be doing none of that. So we not doing none of those. We ain't going to be a part of that first wave, man. We going to protect ourselves like everybody else should.
Right. Dame, thanks a lot for joining us on the Basketball Jones, man. Much love and continued success personally and as a team and with your family, and hope everybody is safe and healthy moving forward.
Same to you, brother. Same to you. I love the name too, man. Basketball Jones. That's on point right there.
Thanks. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All right, for sure. I'll see you soon.
You got it.